Welcome back to a new episode of Three People on a Couch with your hosts, me, Amanda, Brian, and Steve. And today we have a very special guest. His name is Mark, and he is a health and wellness manager at Soho House in downtown LA. And he's also an instructor and former manager at Rumble Boxing.
Nailed it.
He grew up with football and got a scholarship at the University at Delaware. And he double majored in finance and marketing. And after college, he worked in New York for 10 years. Is that right?
Just under.
Yeah, about 10 years. But then he decided to move to California to pursue his acting career.
You might know more about me than I do.
Yeah, like
his social security number.
I want Amanda
his-
to narrate my life.
Seriously.
It's like,
His
wow,
blood
way
type.
better.
I've done a lot.
dude, I'm kind of good. Yeah.
You're pretty good at this.
No, but
Have you thought about doing a podcast, Amanda?
I don't know.
Do you have
I'm
any
thinking about
friends
it.
that live together that you could do?
I don't have any friends, but yeah.
It's usually a prereq to do it.
Oh, really?
So, Mark, when did you move out here to LA?
3 years. June of 2018.
And you were in New York before that?
Jersey, worked in New York.
You from Jersey originally?
Yeah, South
Whereabouts?
Jersey. Atlantic City.
Ah,
Atlantic
from
City,
Asbury
South
Park
Jersey.
originally.
Oh, get out.
Yeah.
So we don't fist pump. We're like I tell people we're close to like Santa Monica vibes. South Jersey beach, kind of more towards the ocean. Because as soon as I say Jersey, everyone goes, "Oh,
Yeah.
Jersey Shore."
Jersey Shore,
huh?
yeah.
I'm
It's like,
great show, but it wasn't our vibe.
Did you live in the city when you were there, or did you stay in Jersey?
Right out, stayed in Jersey, commuted in. So I'm
Whoa.
a PATH train, New Jersey Transit
Wow.
pro.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's an
Learned
OG.
to
That's a
learn.
big thing in the East Coast. If you can, there's a train that goes from Jersey to New York. The Amtrak, New Jersey Transit. That a lot of people would take. And like back in the day, that was the thing. You would like get your suitcase and like you would park your car at the train station and you take the train in. I never did that, but
Literally,
my dad
every
did
day.
that for like 20 years, and my uncles and stuff. And
I mean, because I'm not from America, I don't know
Really?
much. I'm not. I know.
I didn't know
What?
that. This is
I
news
mean,
to me.
yeah. Yeah, you didn't do my intro, so
Oh,
that's why.
Ooh.
No, but
That's a good idea for a podcast. Let's make the guest just introduce us every time. This is Brian again. He's a
again.
Give them 3 minutes to learn as much as they can about you, and
Yeah.
then they have to introduce the.
there.
host.
This could be a
I like
new
that.
format.
That's a new thing, yeah. But not coming from America, I don't know much about Jersey, but I do know Jersey Shore. Like that is the thing. But Atlantic City, the only thing I know about that is that it's like a Bruce Springsteen song.
It's
Well, Bruce is
basically
the boss
it's basically
from-
the
yeah.
Vegas of the Northeast.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah,
Atlantic
it's-
City doing well? I heard it's kind of decombusting.
Yeah, there's been a lot of casino foreclosures.
Mhm.
Trump didn't help. Not that it got political. I don't care who you vote for. But like his casinos kind of started to go under. But they're trying to bring it back up.
Right.
So it's been in. There's a Netflix show, Friends from College,
Boardwalk Empire.
Boardwalk Empire. There's been a few shows that kind of mention Atlantic City in a negative connotation.
Mhm.
It's been pretty funny.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, "Oh, we're going to Atlantic City," and then the whole cast goes, "Oh man," like it's like not people don't want to go there,
Right.
but it's got nostalgia for me.
So you were working in finance for 10 years?
Yes, different types of finance, suit and tie. It was good while it lasted, but just kind of got tired of sitting behind a desk.
I did. I worked at Yelp for about just under 2 years in New York.
Okay.
So I did that whole thing, and I remember the moment when I wanted to quit, and it was when I was like speaking to the guys who were like doing national sales and making like so much money, and they're just so unhappy with their lives. And I was like, "Is this what I'm striving to do? Like get to that level?" And I was like, "Did my whole 20 years of experience before I got here lead me to just like selling people stuff?" Like, and it's something that like it was fun. I was passionate about it at first, but I was like, I want to do more.
Right.
And then I quit. I moved to Asia.
Did you get to the point when you worked your finance job where it became more and more of a depressing place to be, and you finally just had a breaking moment? You're like, I can't do this anymore? Or was it more just, it's not for me anymore?
I got a little help from, again, not to get religious. Believe in a higher power. I had a little help from somebody in the universe. My
Who is
dad, I hope to meet them. My dad said something like, with each job, look at your boss and what do they do.
Mm-hmm.
And if you like what they do, strive to keep working your way up and then look at their boss and things. So I've had wonderful, amazing bosses and managers. Shout out to them. But I just looked at what they did and I was like, I don't really know if I want to do that, what you're doing for the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And then my last job was with People Magazine. I was their basically analyst, forecasting budgets and things, telling people when to spend money. Hey, you need to slow down. You're going over. And Time Inc. was bought out by Meredith, another publishing company. And they wanted to move everybody in finance to Des Moines, Iowa.
Oof.
Nothing wrong with Des Moines, Iowa, but I just didn't want to move.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, we have positions for you, but we're shipping, all the creative people will stay in New York. Finance headquarters is in Des Moines. So it was kind of like move or you're fired kind of thing. So I kind of got like a help of a push. I'd already wanted to move out here. I was scared of coming out here without a job. And this was like the push, I guess, that I needed. So drove across country with mom in the car, leaving a 6-figure gig to work part-time at the front desk at a Rumble Boxing was a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
But
Did you
greatest
stop,
decision of my life.
Did you stop in Des Moines on your way out?
That would have been awesome.
Shit,
That
I love
would've
this
been
place.
awesome.
Everyone's got a mansion for moving.
Well, that was the other thing. My dad was like, my dad is, I love him. He's very level-headed, so he wants to think about everything. So he said, you might make a little less, but cost of living, you can have a mansion. But we did not stop in Des Moines. Should have drove past the office.
I'm sure a lot of people at your company is like, yeah, I'm good with that. You go from Manhattan to Des Moines, it's quite a departure.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, if someone told me like, oh, you have to move to Ohio, I would be like, no.
And again, nothing wrong with the Midwest. Shout out to the Midwest.
Love it, but
Three people on a couch canceled after
whole
talk
Midwest
shit about Iowa.
I've been to Iowa when I drove out here when I moved here. And
Me too.
actually, Iowa and Missouri, the parts that it was bordering, it was flooding at the time.
Jeez.
So like, everything was under a few feet of water.
Yeah, I mean, I've also been to Iowa, but like, I don't want to live there.
Guys, should we all move to Iowa?
I think so.
This is
Dude,
a sign.
This is an idea.
If you like corn-fed girls, there's plenty of them.
That's I like cornflakes, corn-fed.
That's always the thing.
Cornbread?
It's like people always say, "Oh, I'm corn-fed,"
Uh-huh.
and I say, "Why don't you just say ignorant? You don't have to say corn."
No, but I mean,
so was that first year? Was it? Did you come out here and have savings, or was it sort of a challenge the first couple years out in LA?
Had savings. I am, like I alluded to earlier, I don't know if it was when we were running the shooting, but I'm a penny pincher. My mom and my sister are probably laughing right now. There's ongoing jokes of me like finding money in my pocket and just going, I didn't even know I had this. So I am a huge saver.
Mm-hmm.
I do not like to spend money. So I did have a little bit of savings.
Teach us your ways. I did
have a-
opposite of that.
no, but that's awesome.
You can dig for
that's
some
awesome.
coins in the couch
Yeah,
after you're
absolutely.
done.
So I did have a little bit of savings, but that first year was a lot of canned tuna and rice. Not to say that I was struggling by any means, but I just wanted to make sure I wasn't overspending when I didn't
How did
have
you
that
develop
income.
that sort of mindset of like spending, tracking? Like, were you always kind of like that as a kid, or like what kind of got you into
Or was
that?
it school, or was it family, or
Mob.
I think it was. I thought you said mom, but it was mom, not mob. Mom. We were just instilled from us. She told us stories of her mom had envelopes for like mortgage, food, clothes, and then enjoyment money. And as soon as you ran out of that envelope's cash for fun, that you didn't have any fun for the rest of the month. So it was kind of like hearing those things, and it's a worry of running out of money. They like scares the crap out of me. So it's like, oh, I'll just save.
But that's actually interesting because I have thought about that America really makes you spend more money. Like here, I'm reckless when it comes to money. But back in Sweden, because I had the same situation that I was working in management for about seven years.
Right.
And I was also working as a controller, so finance. And it was so much easier not to spend as much money as I do when I'm here. And one of the things when I came to America and started working here, I was like, oh, wait, you get paid every 2 weeks? That's so weird because no expenses are taken away from you each 2 week. It's always monthly based. So in Sweden, you only get your salary once a month. So you really have to budget it out and then when I started getting it like every other week, I'm like, it's fine.
I got money coming.
It's coming next week. And I just lost track somewhere. And also like credit score, which we don't have in Sweden. That's just really weird. Why would you want to borrow money?
I think they start off, a lot of kids, like my mom got me a credit card when I was 16 just to build credit.
Exactly.
And I think it had a $500 limit. But I think that speaks to how this country operates, where they want to give you the money as easily as possible, whether it's credit cards or student loans.
They want you to go in debt.
Because it gets you into the debt system.
But that's so weird. It's like, okay, so you can be in debt when you're 16, right? Because it's legal to have a credit card when you're 16 here, right? Yeah. And in Sweden, you can definitely not. You are able to get it when you're 18 because that's like the legal limit of you being an adult. But it's like here in America, you're so backwards when it comes to that. You can have debt, you can drive a car, but you cannot drink alcohol, dude.
You can't do it all at the
until
same
you're
time.
21.
I think we're pointing out a lot of flaws with America right now. I mean, like they teach us geometry and physics, but not how to balance a checkbook or manage debt.
Yeah.
So you come out of college knowing how to do Pythagorean theorem, but you're in $200,000 worth of debt.
Yeah.
So, hey, this is a message to America. No, but I mean,
I love America. Don't deport me. I love you.
What you were saying about they want us to spend money. We get paid so often. I know people who would not survive getting paid monthly. Like they need that check to come month to month, and that's kind of what made me save. Was I never wanted to have to live paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't buy shoes because I got to wait till next Friday to get paid. It scares the living crap out of me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good mindset. I think a lot of people need to develop. It's a shame though, because schooling is sort of designed like that. It's designed to keep the majority of the people just working for someone else, and then basically, like the old joke is, there's got to be more to life than just paying bills and losing weight, right?
Yeah.
But that's sort of what America's about.
That was actually funny. I've never.
It's not mine. I took it from someone else, but it's literally it's like you're just paying bills, and trying to like the newest diet trend,
but
and like
that's so funny because I went to the bank here in America and because I wanted to take out a mortgage because I wanted to buy a place to live
here.
Yes, instead of have to pay these ridiculous rents here.
Yeah, they are ridiculous.
And like I have 2 apartments back in Sweden that I own. So it's like I'm used to just owning my home. So I thought, well, at least I can take out a mortgage because I do have some money like saved up, so I could actually put down. Is it like 20%? You have to, right? So I was like, okay, I have the money, and I went to the bank and I was like, I do have the money for like 20% down. Can I please get a mortgage? And they were like, what's your credit score? And I'm like, I don't, like, I just came to America. They're like, I literally have the money to give to you. They're like, credit score.
You might pay back on time. We don't want to work with you.
And also like tax returns for 2 years. It was so many rules. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, then I'm just going to take my money. They don't even want my money.
Yeah. I think part of that, though, is to prevent, and I could be wrong on this, but I think it's prevent foreign entities sort of just coming and buying property up.
Probably something like that.
But then that happens. Still, there's still loopholes for that.
But I think the credit score in your case is a quotient that illustrates how well you would do in their debtor system. If you take on a debt from them, how likely are they to get the money back? And if you have a pile of cash, that might not be as much of insurance policy for them as if that score of your history of paying back debts.
That's the thing in Sweden, though, because like in Sweden, if you kind of take with you like an economical plan of, let's say I was going to buy a house and I would rent it out. I would take that kind of a business plan to the bank and say like, hey, this is my down payment, this is my income, and this is what I'm planning on doing with this money. And then the bank like reviews it, and then they either accept or decline.
I feel like
that's a major difference. Sweden looks at your future and says her future's bright. America says, let's look at their track record. Let's look how well they pay other people back before we lend them money. And I think it's corporate America. Big businesses want you to be in debt. They want you to spend more money, so they give you money faster. And then the marketing, social media, how we were talking about, it's just we're constantly getting served ads to spend more money. Healthcare, people can argue that companies want you to be sick. So you buy more medicine. So we're solving all of America's
Yeah.
problems today.
We are
This
so
is a very
patriotic.
Yeah.
Political
What do
episode.
you think about the idea of a social credit score system, like taking that one step further and kind of who you are and what you've done in life and on the internet, and your whole life is now
On
to be
TikTok.
quantified for participating in society?
Man,
Is it a good thing or is it too invasive?
invasive. Yeah, that's it would be interesting. It'd be hard to quantify. You know what I mean? I would have to. That's like how we're doing these cryptocurrencies. I'm scared shitless to even invest what I think is real money that's in my bank account into some digital currency. So it would be interesting. It's kind of like when Elon Musk said, "Hey, if you show me the plan, I'll give you the money to solve world
Right.
hunger."
Yeah.
If we can come up with something, I'm so open minded to everything. I want to read the fine print before I kind of sign
Sure.
my life away.
Have you been to Sweden or around Europe at all? Or
I haven't. Closest I've been to Sweden is my ex roommate Nick Lundblad was from Sweden.
Oh, really?
And he kept trying to get me to come back. He taught me a curse word that he wanted me to say as soon as I got off the plane.
Yeah.
So I have a bone to pick with him, but that's as close as I got.
have you done traveling at all around outside the U.S. or?
Mostly to the Bahamas. I always thought growing up that vacation was clear blue water and palm trees. That was stuck in my head.
Yeah.
That's an East Coast thing.
Yeah,
I'm from Massachusetts. It's the same thing. Vacation, you're going to Florida.
Exactly. Just somewhere warm, bathing suit, pool, beach. And finally had a chance, and an ex-girlfriend lived in Paris and come visit me. So I got to go to Europe. I never would have went to Europe probably if it hadn't been for her. And from there we went to Italy. So Bahamas, Paris, and Italy is probably the only 3 places outside of the U.S.
Nice.
that have required a passport.
But still, more than
More
most.
so very fortunate.
Definitely.
And now that since I've been to Europe, we were going to dinner and she was like, "Let's get an Uber." I was like, "Let's walk." She's like, "It'll be a 30-minute walk." I was like, "I don't care." The architecture is just awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm in on Europe. I'm back.
You get
in.
so much
I'm back
history.
in.
I think we lose that a bit in America because we're 255 years old, something like that. Don't quote me. But you go to Europe, some of these buildings are 800, 1,000.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
that is so funny because coming from Europe, I think the opposite. Because I have this discussion a lot when it comes to Americans. I'm so used to these old buildings, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. Here was our grand king's house. It's old and it's moldy and it's preserved, But when I come here to America, I'm like, wow, here's the new history. Here's Marilyn
Interesting.
Monroe, Frank Sinatra, people who, is closer in time. Actually, they've been walking these streets. So LA and New York is very historical.
That's cool.
for European, I would say, because it's wow, so many movie stars, and here the entertainment industry started, but it's history that is kind of close to you. But I know when Americans go to Europe, they're like, oh, this church is a billion years old, and they're so impressed by it.
I got
and I'm
so churched out. So when I backpacked, I backpacked across Europe when I studied abroad. I studied in Manchester, England during school. And I got so oh, and here's another church. It's like, all right,
Right.
I get it. And then same in Asia, I backpacked most Asian countries I've been to, and we go see the temples initially, be like, oh wow, in Thailand, this temple is amazing, the Leaning Buddha. After you've seen 10 temples, you've seen a temple.
But I feel
That's the
Europe has the more walkable qualities because the cobblestone
Definitely.
streets.
100%.
And
Definitely.
And here it's oh, where do you live? Santa Monica Boulevard. Oh, it's only about 20 tents away. I guess I'll do that walk. It's not as nice to
But that is
homeless tents to
That is
walk
so,
by.
That is so true. We're gonna talk a little bit about health and wellness too. But when it comes to the walking part, in Sweden, everyday average was 20,000 steps.
Jeez.
Wow.
Not because I tried it. Here in America, I'm more
I have
need
to walk.
Yeah,
Yep.
I have to go for a walk. But in Sweden, it was I walk to work, I walk to the food store.
Right.
I didn't even have a car.
Even in our gyms here, there's not treadmills anymore. There's Ubers. So people just won't walk. It's crazy.
But cultural differences, just America, we're constantly on the go. When I was in Paris, we went to go get coffee, and this group of, I think it was 3 Parisians, were there for I think 2 hours.
Yeah.
Like we ate our food. They were there before us, drinking coffee, just people watching. We left, walked down the street, and like an hour later came back, and they were still there. It was
I
just
love
like,
that about
Yeah.
Europe. It's very much Europe and even Asia. Like you meet someone for coffee, and I do when I lived in India, and you just go spend 3 hours just having coffee and like just talking, and then you go about your day. And even in Spain, they have that culture of like the siestas,
Mhm.
you know, like and they'll like going out there. They go out at like they start to pregame around like 10, 11, 12, and then they go out around like 12 or 1 in the morning.
Oh, I couldn't hang.
That's too much. I like to be in bed by like 10:30. You know?
Yeah, but that's because we're
It's more of like
growing
that.
old. But the
Are
thing
we?
is-
Are we growing old?
I mean,
I think it's because we basically live in a corporation company, and then these other Asian, European, South American, it's more of the Pura Vida philosophy of life, where it's like we're gonna live life and have a rich experience.
Right.
And here in America, it's
Make
I want to
money.
get rich
Yeah.
instead of
Yeah.
having a rich
Increase
life.
my
Yeah.
credit score and
Yeah.
consume things.
And that's
and
part
lose
of,
weight.
that's one of the biggest cons about me as a person saving money. I haven't traveled. I have money that I can buy a ticket to go. Well, granted, COVID restrictions, but to travel, and I'm so worried about losing money and making money that I haven't experienced half of the
Let's
world
go.
yet. Let's go.
Let's go.
I just love the East Coast accent. I don't know what
It's
it
more
is.
like how's your car doing? Like when I go back
love
home,
that.
everyone's like, that car's still running. It's like,
Mine
"The
will
car is."
again, South Jersey. We don't get too much of that Brooklyn,
Yeah,
North
I don't
Jersey,
think you don't
New
really have
York.
an accent too much. I don't really have
It
one.
only comes out
Oh,
once
yeah,
in a
he
while when I
does.
drop the coffee. Can I
the
get a cup of coffee?
How do you say
that
water?
long.
Water?
I say water. Some people say wooder.
That's a New Jersey thing.
The other
Water.
one is
Water.
the other one that I don't hear a lot, but other people have told me is bagel. Some people say bagel.
Bagel?
Or, like
Bagel.
bagel or like the bagel.
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 Hey,
Hey, I'm walking here. Let me get a bagel. Hey, Jimmy. You
But-
need a fat two on the docks later today?
But yeah, coffee and water are two of the ones that most people will
Are you
bring
a
up.
bagel fan?
Oh my gosh.
Where do you go? Where's your spot in LA?
In LA, it's been Sam's on Sunset.
This sucks.
Just because I don't want to drive anywhere.
feel ya,
It's
yeah.
close,
It's-
and they got decent bagels.
But the woman at the
I feel
front,
so bad for her. The woman at the
I
front.
gave her a Zoloft last time I went in. I was like, lady.
Okay,
we
I
have
thought
got
it
to
was
do something."
only me. It's like she doesn't want you in there.
She doesn't. She doesn't want you.
Three
What do you
peop-
want?
Three
Why
people
are you
on a
here?
couch. Sponsored by Sam's
No, I honestly,
Bagel.
I actually, no lie, it crossed my mind. Should we invite her onto the podcast and kind of give her some kind of intervention and get her career on another path?
Yeah,
Because
she
Well, I don't
doesn't-
know. She might own Sam's Bagels.
I think
I don't know what
it
her
must
story
be in the
is.
family, because this woman has a hole in her heart that's larger than the one in the bagel.
Have you read the Yelp reviews?
No.
Okay, because I thought it was maybe I was like, is it me? Like same thing. And then
Right.
went on Yelp, and there's like hundreds of reviews being like, that lady at the front desk, like someone needs to give her a vacation. Like,
Yeah,
I feel
she
so
just
bad
doesn't
for
want you
her.
in there.
It's
She's-
not even like she's mean. It's like it seems like she's so defeated and she's
Yeah.
given up. It's like,
Yep.
okay, 1 second.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. You want
you want milk with that?
You want a milk? Okay.
I feel bad for her.
And like I go in overly energetic. Hey, how are you? What can I get you? Oh man, I love the onion bagels. Can I have one of those? Like I'm just trying to get her to give me a smile. I get
She's like,
nothing.
onions are one of the number one killers with domestic pets.
Yeah. It's like the Debbie Downer from SNL or
Yeah.
whatever.
It's so there's a spot I've been going to, which is better, I think.
Okay.
The way more chirpy there.
Okay.
It's on Beverly.
Bagel Broker.
Bagel Broker. Have you been down there?
No.
Much,
They
much
do a
better.
lox platter, like a open face lox platter with pickle
Okay.
for
With pickle.
With a
Important.
pickle.
Important.
for
bagel.
$10, and it's pretty good.
Okay.
If you go there on the weekend, there's always a line.
Bagel broker.
Bagel
Alright.
Broker, that's a good spot. Or if you really want to blow some of that savings you have, there's a place in Los Feliz called Garage Bagels,
Courage.
and it's $20 for a bagel.
Whoa.
Yeah, and the line is usually about an hour.
Shit.
It's Montreal style bagels, so they basically kind of like burnt a little bit of the edges of them, so it's got more of a crispier texture.
Okay.
It's pretty good, but I love bagels.
What's Montreal style? The bagels judge you after you walk away.
And I have a question too, but
Okay.
continue your.
no, that's pretty much
I mean,
my story about bagels.
Why is it called Lux Platter?
It's a lox.
I mean, it's smoked
Smoked salmon.
Yeah, because
Very good.
the Swedish name for salmon is lax.
Oh,
Really?
So I was like, why do you sometimes say salmon and sometimes you say Lux?
That's
good question.
I think
can answer that.
I think lox is really only mentioned in terms like bagels. What times I've
Yeah.
heard, it's more of like breakfast. It's lox. Then if it's salmon, it's more of like a lunch or dinner or like
Yeah.
a salad.
It's so weird because like first time I went to like a bagel place because we don't really do bagels in Sweden. I was like, oh, Lux. It must be like some Swedish connection. But then I saw it a little bit everywhere. So
I love bagels. It's just
Yeah.
fucking. Every time I'm like anywhere, I'm always looking for the best bagel spot.
I love
Like,
the Bagel Broker's jalapeno cheddar spread. I just like
All
it's
right,
not
I
bad.
gotta
try it
Spice.
then.
I want to be running to the bathroom after my first few bites.
I heard Yeasty Boys.
They're
I-
okay.
I had that
They're okay.
once. It was a little like they do the cheese goo. I don't know what they call it, but it's
Uh-huh.
like real runny.
Queso.
I want a bacon, egg, and cheese.
Right.
on
Salt,
an-
pepper,
on-
ketchup.
Salt, pepper, ketchup on an
Yeah.
everything bagel, toasted. Like,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
the
That's it.
basics. Like take me back to New York, take me back to the East Coast. And there's a funny girl who just moved out here. She's on TikTok. She did like this bagel thing, and she kind of went over it for LA and saying like what you should see when you walk into a bagel shop. And it was pretty funny.
Huh.
It was pretty.
I
comical.
think it's part of it's the culture too. Like New York, it's like you get a bagel and a coffee on your way to
It's
work.
an
Yeah.
on the go culture.
It's on the go
Yeah.
thing. But here it's sort of like it's a Saturday. Let's get a bagel.
Right.
Kind of mindset. Have you ever been to Rook Coffee in Jersey?
Mm-mm.
No, it's just a really good coffee spot. Started about like 8 years ago. These two guys were traveling in Brazil, and they started bringing this concept of slow drip coffee, which wasn't totally new, but for
Right.
New Jersey it was new. So they brew you one cup at a time. So you order your coffee, they grind the beans, they put it in the thing, and they pour just your cup into it, which you have to wait. So you got to wait like 10
So
minutes.
It's a Keurig.
It's what?
It's a Keurig.
Sort of, but slower. I mean, it's fresh brewed. But they blew up. They're all over Jersey now. They've opened up like 12 different shops
Yeah.
there. Check it out next time you're there.
I love how coffee has become an experience now.
Mm.
Sure, East Coast it's very much get the coffee, go to work, but it's like there's one machine now that they're making. It's like it takes babies, they sing songs to the babies before they grind 'em. Like it's an experience to get the best cup of coffee. I just want coffee.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
people say like, oh, I don't know what good coffee, bad coffee is. I just want coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just give me
I don't have a
coffee.
palate for it. I just go off the effects. Like,
Yeah.
Am I gonna feel good? And that's all I care about. Like black coffee, if it's strong and gives me that tunnel vision, kind of like my whole skin feels
Right.
like radiating.
Locked in on something. I used to
That's what I
not make fun of my dad, but he needed 2 cups of coffee in the morning, every morning. And I never drank coffee. I lived at home as soon as I graduated college, and we would wake up together and go to work. Me and my dad, it was kind of like a bonding thing. But he would have 2 cups of coffee, and I was like, I don't need coffee. I'm just going to make this commute regardless. And now I need 2 cups of coffee in the morning.
Yeah.
As soon as I started drinking one, I'm screwed.
Do you
I'm screwed now.
when you work out, do you pregame with coffee or do you do pre-set like
Pre-game.
not
Pre-game.
Oh yeah, I'm pre. Yes.
Do you use pre-workouts?
Right now I am.
Pre-game.
Every
The
once in a
cups
while, like I'll do. Cycle's a bad word because I know they coin it with steroids, but I will. I'll do a month of like taking pre-workout, and then
Mhm.
I'll go off. I won't take pre-workout for like 2 months, and I'll come back just because I feel like it helps. Otherwise, if I'm constantly on pre-workout, it's just like coffee. You get addicted, it
Right.
just loses the effects. So right now, I'll do some pre-workout before I lift. And then probably once that's finished, once the container's gone, I'll probably wait another 2 months, 3 months. Before
But do you have
probably-
coffee during the day, during your off periods?
Always have coffee in the morning. I just have 2 cups in the morning. and
That's
it's
it
kinda-
for the day.
I'm usually pretty good.
Mhm.
2:30 feeling rolls around. I'm just like, I'll get through it. I'll be fine.
Mm.
But I can have coffee at 9 p.m. and go to bed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
I'm the
3
same way,
seconds.
which I feel like
Yeah.
is not a good sign. It's
Yeah.
too
Probably not the best for me.
So do you work out every day? What's your schedule like?
Yeah, because I thought about that when we were talking about bagels. I'm like, are you
Oh,
a health nut?
I'm a fat kid at heart.
Oh,
I
yeah?
am a fat kid at heart. I was
Do you have
just talking.
discipline or do you just work out a bunch?
He's actually obese. Right?
underneath.
Get it
No,
all
but I mean,
taped back.
It's a discipline during the week, and then but I do have my cravings, and I do like salivate when I see people walk past me with a piece of pizza. But as far as working out, I do lift. I would say 6 days a week, but I want to get up and move and do something,
Mhm.
whether some kind of cardio base if I'm not lifting that day. Depends on the split we're on at that current time. But as far as a cheat meal, I've been doing this new thing every Sunday. I go to the supermarket. I'll figure out a meal, whether it's a healthy or not, or a cheap meal or not, and I'll actually take time to cook it. There's this one guy I've been following. He like shows you how he cooks everything, and he's just like, he creates like an experience. He'll put on a record, he'll make a cocktail, and he'll cook, scallop one night with scallops and risotto. I've never cooked scallops, never cooked risotto. Don't even really like scallops, but I was like, let me have fun, like make an experience. So Sunday is kind of like my
Dude,
day
that's
to
awesome.
It's
enjoy.
true. It's the vibration you're putting into the food because you're eating it. I feel like
100%.
you never really think of that, and not to keep bragging on Sam's Bagels, but if that's kind of like the vibration of what's going into my bagel.
Yeah, very true. Maybe if
about
she
that.
put some love and she enjoyed it more, the bagel would taste better.
Yeah. There's something to that.
But it's also like in Europe, I would say we usually cook like majority of our meals, and I think that is one thing that changed when I got here to America.
Started buying more food.
Started buying. It's prepackaged. It's like, even like pre-cut vegetables is new to me. I'm like, why?
That's some lazy ass shit.
Yeah, I'm
I
like,
used to do
what
those
the-
stories. You're like,
I buy those. I buy those.
Yeah, I mean it's convenient, but I mean, and also like eating out. I eat out so much. I don't even know how I can afford it.
To me,
Maybe not.
I love eating food, but the idea of cooking it and then the cleaning afterwards, it's extra steps that feels fatiguing to my mind to take on. And I think that's a lot of people that just want to get takeout or just want it right in front of them.
That's why these meal companies are blowing up.
yeah.
Like when I was in Jersey, I used to do competitions, and I relied on these meal services. There was like one, and now there's like, you can type in, Google it, and there's like 40 of them in your area.
Yeah.
There's a lady next door probably making meals for somebody right now.
Right.
Because it's that time thing.
Yeah.
You're paying a premium for this, chicken, broccoli, and rice that you could make in 10 minutes, but it's taking that ease,
And here's like,
that time. You get your time back. I don't have to cook. I open the fridge and put it in the microwave.
and here's the illusion though. I think for a lot of people, there's some people who don't have that time. They need to be go. But 99% of us, we do have that time,
Yeah.
and we're gonna spend that time scrolling on TikTok or
Yeah.
something else.
That's
and then we're like,
the
I
thing.
have no time, so I have to go buy food.
Absolutely.
But really, if you took time to like you were saying, sort of making it a process and a ritual of like creating the dish and watching all it, like making it special and putting that good intent into it, that's going to slow you down and make you more present, but it's going to also take you away from all that other stuff distracting you.
But I really think you're right, because like when I lived in Sweden, I usually ate out like 2 times a month.
Wow.
And that's like, and the days, but I always used to like food prep, not in like a fitness way, but more just of a time, efficiency way. So I did it like every Sunday or something, just make sure that I had lunch for each day. And I mean, it doesn't take that much longer time to like cook, one
extra-
portion of rice or
Right.
like 7
You're a
portions
trained
of
nutritionist
rice.
as well, right?
Yes.
You work out a
Oh,
lot.
we're gonna have a lot of questions. You're gonna hate my diet.
Um,
Oh, I want to hear it.
I just don't get all the nutrients I need.
What's your diet like? So I used to be obese. I used to be 300 pounds when I worked in
That
sales in New York.
That is
Great, man.
insane.
Great.
Yeah. Well
But
done.
I've also like done this like for the last like 4 years, up
Dude,
and
it's
down.
a journey.
So I have that inside me that love to eat, and especially when I was working in sales, it would just be like the highs and the lows. I would love eating. It'd be like, because it'd be like, oh, you closed a big deal, let's hit the bars.
Right.
Then you hit the bars, and then you're like, oh man, let's grab some pizza now. And then you grab some pizza, like, shit, we gotta be at work in 8 hours, And then it's that sort of lifestyle, which is not healthy. What do you do? Have you ever had periods where you were overweight at all, or were you always sort of in shape and kind of?
Because you were always active, right?
Yeah, so I played sports growing up. I was my sister. I don't think I was ever obese, but there was one point like I was running with my shirt off. Like when I was a kid, my sister said, my boobs were bouncing. But again, I think we're kids. We're just eating to eat.
Yeah.
Whatever mom makes, puts on the table, you ate it. I don't think I ever just being that active through. Like I went from in high school and earlier, it was like football to basketball to baseball.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like every season, every month I was playing something. And then college came around, and I got more into strength training as far as football. They made you train every day. And then if you would have told me, 15, 20 years ago, you would enjoy working out when no one was making you, I would have laughed at you. I would have said, as soon as my college career is over, I'm going to sit on the couch, eat potato chips, and watch TV. Like, I'm never working out again. And I don't know where the switch happened. I don't know if it was a strength coach. We got a new strength coach. that kind of like, I don't know, made it fun. And then I just kind of, as soon as I graduated, I just found myself back in the gym. I don't know if it's the athleticism, the competitive nature. I'm competing
It's
against
the
me
habit
now.
too that you formed up through all those years. That habit of doing that. It's almost like brushing your teeth. You know, it's like, I got to work out.
And actually, it's so funny when you say habits, because it's really, I can see coming from a different culture. And as you know, since I moved to America 2 years ago, I've gained 25 pounds.
You
But,
look great though.
I mean,
I
I
can
still
imagine
look
what
like normal, but
yeah.
but it's just like, it's the small habits that
you get
truly
25 pounds.
25 pounds up. But
Wow.
yeah, you should have seen me. But the thing is, and it's just about those habits.
Yeah.
Like the portion sizes are
that's
just,
big too.
They're
you know,
insane in America.
it's so, but even if they're, because everyone thinks about, these huge, but it's like they can just be like this much bigger, and it's gonna make a difference.
Yeah.
And also in America, I feel like it's a lot of like, you add in extra. It's not like have an Oreo. It's like have a fried, dipped in sugar Oreo.
Double stuffed.
Yeah,
double
double
stuffed.
stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like have that, and you don't see that in Sweden.
Right.
I think you go to these fancy restaurants in Europe, and granted the price, I'm going to argue in a second because money.
Of course.
But, you get this little tiny piece of something with like this sprig of grass hanging over. So the presentation is nice and it's in the center of the plate, and we as Americans balk at it.
Yeah.
Because like, how is this going to fill me up?
Right.
Now, why is it $75? That's another story. But here in America, Bossa Nova, right down the street. Please tell me you guys have been there or ordered late night.
Yes.
One, why is it packed? It's
I don't know.
Insanely packed.
We have our theory.
good food, but it's like you pay $20 and you get a plate full that'll feed a family for weeks. And it's like, America.
Yeah, we eat that one sin and then we're still hungry an hour later. And that's the other thing too. I feel like Americans are like, we're obsessed with having big portions. We think that if we don't, we'll die. If we just have a light lunch, we're gonna die at by before dinner,
Yeah.
But it's also
just eat again in another hour.
Yeah.
Just eat again.
The big portions are always for the least healthy type of foods. You go to a fast food place and there may not be a supersize anymore at Wendy's, but you see the small, and the small is like 24 ounces.
Right.
Like, this is a small, I need a large.
Yeah.
24 is not enough.
Absolutely.
It's kind of disgusting.
Yeah. So you in terms of you said your diet's not that great though.
As far as nutrient base go, I'm also picky when it comes to certain things. So I literally eat. Everyone will see a picture on Instagram. Obviously, we only post the best things, but they'll see a picture and they'll say, "Oh, Mark, what's your diet? Give me your diet plan." I'm like, I will, but you're not gonna like it. I eat chicken, some kind of vegetable, and some kind of carb for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, basically.
You chicken for breakfast?
Yeah, eggs. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
But like lunch and dinner and any kind of small meals in between is usually chicken, broccoli or Brussels sprouts, rice or potatoes. Every day, I'll add different seasonings. One day might be barbecue sauce. One day might be hot sauce. And then on the weekends, like today, I might have something more enjoyable for dinner. Saturday I'll get in some red meat or fish. And then Sunday I'll kind of overindulge. But when I have those cravings during the week, you know what? I've been craving pizza. I'm gonna go get a slice. Or
you'll have it during the week, or you'll push it off to the weekend?
I'll have it during the week.
Oh, you will?
I am so big on 80-20.
Oh yeah.
I'll try and go 80% healthy and 20% whatever I want. Sidecar Donuts, shout out to them. I am a huge donut guy. Randomly,
Dude, salt and butter, the best.
One of my favorites. Randomly, I'll just text another buddy of mine who likes donuts. I'm like, sidecar tonight? I'm like, yeah, let's get it. So I won't say, no, you can't have it. You're going to, gain 40 pounds if you have one donut. I am not that crazy because I understand that's not how it works.
Right.
Like one bad food item is not going to ruin a diet, just like one great workout's not going to make you Arnold.
So people that indulge in marijuana and get those type of cravings, how does that play into their diet? And do you have any advice for sticking onto your regimen when you're feeling these impulses for sweet or salty? Or
another gentleman I think you should have on this podcast is the fellow Swedish gentleman I was talking about, my roommate Nick. He is an awesome human being. He smokes. Sorry if I'm throwing you under the bus, Nick. He smokes a lot of weed, but he can function at a super high level.
And he's Swedish?
He's Swedish, and he cooks all the time, super healthy, even when he's baked or high.
Yeah.
Like he'll be, rolling a joint and he's got salmon in the pot with veggies going. So for me, I have, sorry mom, smoked weed before, and food tastes better, whatever it is.
Right.
So I think if you prepare before you roll your joint or smoke your bowl, and you're like already got fresh food cooking, I think it's gonna taste. You're gonna enjoy it 10 times better.
Yeah.
At least from my experience, I've made my chicken, broccoli, and rice, and ate it high, and was like, "Oh my God, this is a Michelin star meal right here."
I think that's a really good point, because if you cook your food first and then indulge, then you're probably gonna eat that food. But if you smoke and then you're idling, that's when your mind is like, pizza.
Yeah,
I think too. Like what I did a little experiment with myself. It wasn't peer reviewed or anything, but I smoked some weed, and then I fought the urge to go to In-N-Out. That was the experiment, and I won it. I didn't go to In-N-Out, and I went to bed, and I woke up next morning. I was like, "Oh my God, I do have a choice. I don't have to just give in to my impulse of like, I need more In-N-Out. Like I can actually control it." And I think sort of doing a little experiment like that proves to yourself that you still have power. And that you can actually, you don't have to give into that.
I think it's that idle time.
Yeah.
So I've noticed with myself that if, these bodybuilders, these dieters, these fitness freaks will eat every 2 hours, and people will like, think that's crazy. But the longer I let myself get hungry, the more I don't want to cook, the more I want something like overly dishes like burgers and fries. But if I have meals prepped, if I prepare, like that whole saying, prepare to fail, fail to prepare, you prepare to fail. If I have food cooked already, or if I'm eating regularly, I don't have those cravings as much. But as soon as I haven't eaten yet, I don't feel like cooking, an hour will go by, it's 12. I really don't want to cook. Screw it, I'm ordering. So it's that idle time where we waste time, and we don't, like, if we would just cook when we're hungry and eat when we're hungry, I think we would.
Do you do intermittent fasting at all? Have you dabbled in that?
Yes, and somebody asked me this the other day. Most of the time it's not by choice. It's not like I wake up, I'm going to intermittent fast today. It's like, I woke up a little late. I don't have time to make breakfast before work, so I'm just going to go, and then I don't get my first meal until 10 a.m., 11 a.m. It's worked. It hasn't hurt me. I think people should experiment with it, try it. Some people swear by it. Some people will they'll wake up at 6 and not eat until 3 p.m. Mine is usually accidental, and I'm just like, cool, I intermittent fasted today.
Especially when you have coffee. It's like, oh shit, it's noon and I haven't eaten anything.
Yeah, coffee will help that appetite suppressant. Sometimes it makes me hungrier, sometimes it doesn't. I haven't figured it out yet.
I think too, there's this, and this might be an East Coast thing, but when I think coffee, immediately I'm like bagel. I'm like, they just go so well together.
Okay.
To me, it's laptop.
Laptop?
You go right to work mode.
Chewing on my laptop. No, I go into
podcast, whatever.
I go into work mode where it's like the coffee is gonna put me in a state where I just want to open up my laptop and just ravage through things I need to do or get done. So I don't even think of food, because I think food actually detracts from my caffeine effects. So I think if I have a bagel after drinking coffee, it's going to lower the effects.
Right.
Yeah,
it's pretty delusional and neurotic now that I hear myself back.
No,
I don't want to crossfade.
No, if it works, it works. You know what I mean? I think the other thing I was telling people is we're all different.
Oh, yeah.
What works for me is not going to work for you. It works for you. How you view coffee, but it works for you. So don't change anything. You know what I mean?
When I think about coffee, I think about cigarettes because I'm European.
What do I think about?
Yeah, coffee and
coffee. First thing that comes to mind is
your dad.
Yeah, I don't. It tastes good. Like I've gotten to the point where now it's like I'm a coffee and cream guy. So I know I'm like supposed to be this fitness guy, and you got to drink it black. I have cream with my coffee. Sorry.
Did you do oat milk or
like some? I've been doing almond creamer.
The Coffee brand,
Khalifa.
No, it's been Silk.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
The
I've seen
Silk
it.
company. Ralph's. Listen, I'm the cheap guy. I just and it tastes good.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like dessert.
Yeah.
So my breakfast is that's a weird plural word. Breakfast in the morning can be kind of boring for me. It's eggs and oatmeal. So like that coffee with the cream is almost like it's like dessert.
Coffee's the new cereal.
Yeah.
If you want a little bit of a hack, next
Please.
time you brew your coffee, throwing a dash of cinnamon in there.
I've been doing it every once in a while. The cinnamon I bought, I think they burnt it when they made it. So like my coffee gives this little burnt taste. So I stopped it. But yes, even with the grounds, I mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, I remember you did it on one podcast.
Yeah.
It was so
I
good.
would
Sometimes it clogs the coffee machine, so watch out.
Okay.
If you put too much in there.
I only want cream when I have iced, and I also want iced more times than
Same.
hot. So like no matter what the weather
Same.
can be freezing cold, I still want iced.
I like iced
And
coffee.
I feel like that with the cream and watching it make this mosaic as it spins through.
Yeah, it's art.
It's everything to me.
I have a problem with beverages in general. I like the iced coffee because I chug it. Like I don't slowly sip my coffee. Like it's gone. Like I make. Sorry if people still have their coffee. Like the people who don't finish their coffee, I'm like, what are you doing? Like you spent $6 on Starbucks coffee and there's like
That's Brian.
3/4 of it left.
He's the biggest offender. of
So
that.
I chug it and like I got made fun of because like wine. I get it. You're supposed to enjoy it and sip it, but I'm sitting here kicking back 3 glasses of wine because I just chug drinks. Like I just.
I'm the same. That's why I always get so
Why
drunk.
do you think you don't finish it? Because you've had enough caffeine? Because you've left more wounded soldiers
know
than
why?
Biden at
Yeah,
this point.
I need to know why.
So I drink it slowly. I sip on it, I drink it
Okay.
slowly, and then it gets to a point where I'm like,
I'm done with this.
yeah, I'm done with it. And I don't feel, even with alcohol, like I won't finish a drink just to finish a drink for that purpose.
You
If I
would've-
don't want it, I'm not gonna have it.
Dude,
My
that's
buddies would have
awesome.
killed you in college.
Yeah.
They would constantly walk around shaking beers to see if it's still stuff
Ugh.
in there.
I used to do that. We used to have a beer gun. Did you ever use a beer gun?
I don't think so.
Oh my God, this thing's dangerous. Yeah, so it's
Oh,
basically
okay.
a big syringe.
Yeah.
You pour 2 beers in it, okay? And then because it works with, and then
Jackhammer
right
and
in your
stuff.
mouth, and you can down 2 beers in under 3 seconds. It's disgusting.
I used to have a tough time shotgunning because it's like I'd get like 3/4 of the beer, then it's like it wouldn't all come out.
Yeah.
And so I preferred using the funnel, but my parents would constantly like find it and take it away. What the hell's this?
Speaking of drinking beers,
Yep.
I want to transition to, so you just started a new job at Soho House.
Mhm.
How's that going?
It's a grind, but I think all new things are a grind.
Yeah.
Trying to learn as much as I can, as fast as I can. Long hours, getting up to speed and everything. But I think it's going as well as it can.
And you're
be.
doing, you're the head of, is the manager of, what is it, fitness and?
Basically the gym manager.
Okay.
So it's very, very same job that I was doing at Rumble,
Uh-huh.
just for Soho House.
Gotcha. How is the Soho House here? Like I never even heard of Soho House. This is funny, but in India they have one in Mumbai.
Yep.
And I used to hang out at the Soho House there all the time. A bunch of my friends were members. We'd go every week. And that was my first exposure to Soho House. But I've never actually been to one in the States before. Is the vibe sort of the same? Is there a pool at the location there? And
I think every house is different in some sort of way. Some have everything: hotel rooms, night lounges, restaurants, pool. I think West Hollywood only has like the restaurant kind of vibe, lounge vibe. No pool, no hotel rooms. So I think they're all very different. The one in downtown has it all: gym, hotel rooms, nightlife, pool. I think Malibu's even smaller. It's like kind of like just like a beach house kind of vibe. Come for restaurant or come for dinner and kind of leave.
do you organize sort of like wellness sort of workshops there? Are you in charge of that aspect?
Going to start doing that. They used to have this Soho Active membership for their members to be able to use the gym, take classes, kind of like extra offerings. Right now, it's mainly operating as a hotel gym. It's kind of like if you're a member, you come and use it. If you're a hotel guest, come and use it.
Right.
So glorified hotel gym because it is really nice. But they're getting come January, the new year, they're revamping their whole wellness platform in terms of they want to make it for their members or hotel guests a place where you can go get your workout done, sit in the sauna. Oh, by the way, we have a salon. You can go get your hair done, and then the girls are getting brunch later. Come right up to the club level. So they want to make it like I'm at Soho House all day on Saturday.
Right. Yeah.
Got my lift in. I got a massage. I ate brunch, and then we went out and stayed by the pool. And then at night we went. So they're trying to make their members
More of like a vibe sort of thing.
spend more money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
But-
only
but
for
it-
members.
but it's amazing.
Vegas, like a Vegas hotel.
That's
They don't stop
yeah.
paying for
That's
everything.
literally what in the one in Mumbai. It's literally what it is. So we'd go on the rooftop pool for like maybe brunch, meet a few friends there, have some coffee, and then start having drinks and dive into the pool. And we'd end up chilling on the cabanas for a few hours, then come like 5, 6. Then it'd be like, all right, let's go down to the 4th floor. And was like where the big bar was. hang out there for a couple hours, and we go to like the 8th floor, and
It's
that's
an
more like
experience.
it's
It
a whole
really is.
experience. Yeah.
There's a gym in Jersey, Lifetime Fitness. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
Yeah.
These things are castles. My buddy worked at one. He said, "Why don't you come lift with me here?" And it's huge. You pull up the one in, I think, Florham Park. They have an outdoor pool with like water slides for the kids. They have an indoor pool, lap pool, 2 rock climbing walls, 6 basketball courts. Upstairs is like the gym equipment, the lifting area. It's insane. They have cafe. They have a hair salon, a nail salon. So it's like you pay $400 a month for this membership, and you're like, oh my God, $400 a month. But you can bring the kids there, go have fun while daddy gets a lift.
Yeah.
If I have kids, I would be a member there.
Yeah.
Because it's
an
like
experience.
I can't lift during the day because I got kids, but here they can rock climb, swim, play basketball while I go get a lift in.
Do you feel like with the pandemic and the lockdowns, did that affect? I know in other houses, friends who've worked there, they sort of kind of the vibe is not quite back yet. Do you feel like it's kind of back there now already, or?
I was never a member. I think I went to the West Hollywood one once before I started working here, and I just went and had a breakfast, like a meal. So I'm not very familiar with the Soho House. I wasn't a member. I didn't get to experience like the nightlife aspect of it. I think it's getting back to. I mean, it's been pretty busy.
Yeah.
Every time I go up for some more cleaning supplies up to the 6th floor, it's pretty popping. Everybody's out either working or having a lunch meeting. So I think it's getting back. America as a whole, we're kind of getting there. But I'm excited to see it. If it's not back fully, I'm excited to see what it looks like when it is back.
I feel like there's also an uptick in people taking their health more seriously because this has rattled a lot of people. So there's probably going to be an influx of people that want to be going to the gym, where before it was kind of, I'll get to it, but now it's like, okay, this needs to be kind
I
of
think the
staple
New
in
Year's
my life.
resolutions this year it'll be pretty interesting to see January.
Yeah, but I just think it's a little bit interesting because, I think America is an extreme country in a lot of ways, which I love. That's why I'm here. But it's like, extremely poor, extremely rich. It's like always this extreme. And it feels like America is also that when it comes to like health and fitness. Like it's such extreme levels. It's like, either you're like fitness lifestyle or you're like McDonald's lifestyle.
Right. That's true.
And it's like hard to find this kind of just living in balance, healthy lifestyle in a way where like gym memberships, I mean, of course we have gyms in Sweden. I went to a gym too, but it's not like we don't have a 12-story floor gym, that is like $400 a month.
Right.
No one would go. But we have like outdoor gyms and stuff like that is for free. But mostly we just stay active.
Yeah.
Like a part of your life, because it's so interesting to me. The first time I've ever heard about someone driving to the gym was here in America. And I was like, wait, that sounds a little bit weird. Now I'm used to it because now I drive everywhere too. But it was like, wait, you're driving to work out for an hour and then you drive home?
What about
it's weird concept.
What about taking pre-workout and then just watching TV and not even going to the gym? That's happened to me a few times. Like, I'm just gonna take it and just hang.
You're
out.
lasered in on the show.
Yeah.
I think the COVID and the quarantine helped some people realize they don't need to.
Yeah.
I think with especially brands with Peloton and Tonal and those kind of at home, you're able to get an amazing workout from your living room. And even just you can YouTube. I remember I went home for the holidays in 2020, saw my mom. My mom was like, I want to get healthier, show me some things. I said, Mom, we can just head to YouTube on the TV, type in whatever you want. Yoga, 30-minute beginner. Boom, there it is. And we're sitting there doing yoga. Beginner ladies hit workout. Boom, there it is. So I think COVID kind of helped people realize I don't need a gym membership. I can do this. I bought these 10-pound dumbbells that have been sitting here. I'm going to use them.
Yeah.
So I think that was a big fear for me going back to work at a gym after COVID. What are people not going to show up because they know they can do it from their home?
Do you think that's the future of fitness? Because they're already saying
I don't
that
think so.
they're already saying that work is now going to be
From
even
home.
more telecommuting. So that kind of plays right into it, where that's our new way of life.
I feel like for me personally, like I've never been one to just go to the gym. Like I had an LA Fitness membership and I went like 5 times because I get bored if I'm just going working on my own. I love group classes. So I'm going to F45 right now. I've been going there for the last month.
Love it.
And I love it because they just sort of kind of like pump you up, but I couldn't just sit down and grab my phone for 5 minutes and check Instagram. Like that would not be allowed.
Correct.
You know, because you're working out constantly for 45 minutes. You're in a class, you're moving stations, you know, and it keeps me accountable for me personally. So I love the community aspect of going to the gym. I love going to see other people working out. It inspires me to want to work out. The guy next to me is like, you know, working out harder, and I'm gonna be like, I need to work out harder.
It's a good point.
So it depends on the individual, I think.
It's a very good point. Not to cut you off. So for me, lifting is something I enjoy. I can do it by myself. I can do it with 40 people. I never, and I've never told Rumble this. I loved the company and worked there for 3 years, and they provided me with more things than I could imagine. But I never really, would be like, why do people need group fitness? Why does Soul Cycle? Why do people love Barry's?
Yeah.
I don't need that, but there are people that do. And as soon as I realized that, it changed my whole aspect on the clients that would come in. I was like, they're here to get better because this works for them. So I'm not the Sam's Bagels lady. You came to work out. However you want to work out.
Yeah.
Get your ass in here. I'm happy to see it.
Yeah.
So once I realized that everybody is different and everybody how they want to work out and how they want to get better and eat healthier is their choice. Whatever works for them, come on in. Let's roll.
Yeah.
That's
So
great. Yeah.
I think that's interesting because I know a lot of people that feels like you, like accountability when it comes to classes. I'm the complete opposite. Like I want to work out alone. Like don't bug me.
Yeah, it feels like a personal journey into that new energy.
Yeah.
For me, you give me shit, but I have an iPod, like a classic iPod that I bring. And if I don't bring my phone, then I'm not going to have that temptation. It's like, okay, I'm going to sit on the bench press staring at my iPod from 2004. It doesn't even light up. I don't even know what song's on.
All right, be honest here.
But when I have my phone,
Be honest.
When I have my phone, yeah, I definitely get tempted. And for me, LA Fitness's motto really should be a different place to be on your phone. It's like I could be on my phone on the bench press. I can be on my phone.
Holy shit.
How many times, though, be honest, do you go to the gym with your iPod, but also have your phone with you in your other hand?
Sometimes, but for a long time, I didn't do that. And I've even done it at this gym next door, just my iPod. And yeah, is it a little difficult to not have that because you want to pick it up in between sets and scroll or whatever? Yeah, it is a little bit more difficult, but you actually get more done because the alternative is to stare at the wall.
But I remember, okay, so what kind of workout type are you? Because I
do HIIT. I used to do Insanity back.
No, that's not the question.
Oh.
What times do you usually do it?
I gotta do mornings.
Me too.
Yeah, I gotta do mornings.
Because when I was living in Sweden and had my desk job, I had to go up. I remember I woke up 5:30 every morning, went to the gym at 6, was home by 7, and then I went to work. And that made my world so much better because I had so much energy. I was so pumped, and I've gotten like 45 minutes in because I lived like next to the gym because that was crucial for me too. It was very important for me that it was as easy as possible. So even though the gym that was like in my building was like more expensive than another gym, I was like, it doesn't matter. I just need the free weights and then I'm done.
I like cardio at night, like running outside while the sun's setting. Or cardio at night really gets me to a relaxed headspace. If I'm lifting, I'd rather do it in the morning.
Yeah.
So I have kind of like you were just saying, that foundation for the day where it's like I'm
Right.
cruising on that energy and I already got my workout out of the way because you don't know how your day is going to unfold. You're like, oh, I've had a stressful day. Fuck it. I'm not going to go to the gym. And a lot of people talk themselves out of that by 5,
That's
6
me.
p.m.
That's me.
That's why.
I always talk myself out. I'm like, no, I will go at 5 p.m. once I'm done with work. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
Then 4 comes around. I'm just gonna hang out in bed real quick, recharge myself.
Yeah,
but I'm out of here. And then it's like, well, I just deserve a day off.
Dude,
you know?
I have like 3 hours of anxiety thinking about doing it. So it's just better to just do it and have it done.
Have you ever
me.
regretted? Like, I feel like there's a lot of times I'm like, I don't want to go to the gym today. I don't want to do this. I'm sore, blah, blah, blah. But when I'm done with the gym, I'm always like, yeah.
I know.
I've never
the feeling
regretted it.
Exactly.
afterwards,
You never like,
that's
I
the
shouldn't
best.
have done
Yeah.
that.
I'm not a morning person.
No?
I'm not. I'm not grumpy. I just don't want to wait. I love sleeping in. I love sleep. But like you said, the times where I've had to wake up early and lift, I've never regretted it. I just cannot make myself get up in the morning to lift. What you said about you never know how your day is going to go. I need to start lifting in the morning because with a new job, with whatever it is, shit happens. Sorry for the language. I don't know if we're allowed to go.
No,
Stuff happens throughout your day where just this past Monday, I was super excited to hit legs. I know it's crazy. I know nobody likes legs, but Monday I was like looking forward to lifting after work the entire day. Something happened at work. They needed me to stay. There was an Adele Spotify listening party. Shout out to Adele releasing a new album. And they were like, hey, Mark, we don't want our hotel guests, going up to the event if they weren't invited to it. Do you mind riding the elevator for 2 hours? So I was a bellhop. Now, granted, listen, I'm the new guy. I'll do whatever you need me to do. It's not about the job I had to do, but through my whole 2 hours, I could have been lifting.
Yeah.
So I didn't get to my lift till 9:30. So lifting in the morning, I should start doing. I just cannot get up in the morning. I don't want to do it.
Did you get nauseous from being in the elevator so long?
No, the worst part
That is such a
was,
valid question.
no, it
though.
really
That was
is.
so
My family owns
unexpected.
Or like a headache from all.
well,
the
my
stuff
family
you
owns a
do.
moving service back east.
Also,
Lois,
it is hot. So sorry, guys. I'm not trying to do the whole sweatshirt
He's
take off.
flexing.
in the middle of the show. But continue.
my family owns a moving service in Jersey, Lois Moving Service, shout out. And I used to work in summers when I was a kid, and I'd always have to be like starting off. I'd be in the elevator, doing the elevators going up and down and up and down, and I'd just literally get almost like vertigo from being in the elevator so long because you're just going.
I didn't have that problem. It was the different colognes and perfumes that would walk in and out. So I was literally stuck in there. So every time we went down the first floor, I kind of peeked my head out, take a breath of fresh air, and the mask. It was just a whole thing.
Yeah.
But it's just, you don't know how your day is going to go.
You don't,
So
yeah.
knock it out in the morning. If that's a problem for people with consistency and like, man, I just don't have the time. Everyone has that same excuse. You just got to get it done.
What
in
are
the
your
morning.
thoughts on smoking weed before the gym or an exercise in general? Do you think it can help? I find that it can help break plateaus if you have something where, in terms of benching, I can only bench 160, and that's what's always going to be. But I feel like, so I've done it a few times. When you go in there, it's kind of more, you don't have those preconceived notions about your abilities, and you surprise yourself. And I find myself I can do more reps. I'm not as overwhelmed with the amount of sets and reps that I'm required to do because I'm more in the moment, just focusing on how the motions feel.
I had a buddy recommend it, and a little backstory, I was a prude, I guess you could say, when it comes to drugs and alcohol. I didn't start drinking until junior year of college, not because I was scared of the law, but I just didn't really see the need to it. I don't know. I was always the designated driver. Haven't tried any drugs besides weed, and didn't try weed until I moved out here when Nick one randomly night said, hey, what are you doing tomorrow? I said I was off. He made me try it, and I tried it. I'm not recommending or endorsing smoking weed before working out, but I have tried it, and man, is it kind of cool. A buddy's recommended it. I tried it. For me, just like you said, I feel the muscle differently. It could be just all in my head, but for whatever reason, it's like they say bodybuilding is like a mind-muscle connection, and I just feel that more if I have something in me. I don't do it a lot. I don't do it often, just because I do want to be, I guess the word sober or in a clear mind state when I do go to the gym. But every once in a while, if I do it before a home workout or even going on a run, I feel.
I've heard that a lot before about running.
Differently.
Yeah,
I've never tried it though.
I've heard
surprisingly.
it about running, but not about lifting.
Yeah,
But it makes sense,
similar.
yeah.
I a lot of times have taken a few hits and then gone for a long run, and that mix of the weed with endorphins, it is one of the best sensations I've ever felt. You feel so good. You feel so connected. My brain almost just gets flooded with positive thoughts, and it raises my frequency to a level that it's unbelievable.
Yeah, I wouldn't go to the gym and try and PR. Like I wouldn't put 500 pounds on the squat rack while I was under the influence.
Mm-hmm.
But on my light days or on like a day where I'm just like an easy arm day, it could be just mental. For all I know, I don't know the science behind it, but I feel, I look in the mirror, I'm like, man, I got a good pump going, for lack of a better word.
And I did it once on an edible, and I wouldn't recommend it. I would just take a few hits if you're gonna do it, because I took an edible once, like a chocolate covered blueberry, and I went to the gym like 90 minutes later, and it just hit me too hard. And I remember just being on the bench press Just
It's
like
interesting.
napping. I was like,
I feel like still, even though it's legal
watching TV on my laptop.
it's legal in California and many states now, actually in the U.S., but there's still a little bit of a taboo against smoking weed. But if you were to say like, oh, I'm going to take my antidepressant, or I'm going to take my anti-anxiety pill, or even I'm going to take Adderall and go to the gym, it's like that's totally normal.
fine. Yeah.
Totally fine.
Yeah.
And like I remember there was an Olympic athlete who was talking about she was taking Adderall for ADD, but they're arguing she was getting an unfair advantage in terms of working out, and I was like, I agree with that, because you're able to push yourself where you couldn't naturally do that.
I know, but she
Right.
also cleaned the judge's apartments afterwards, so they.
But I think like why not? Why not if it works for you? I mean, we've seen so many benefits from what THC and CBD can do with people. So why not? I've never tried it. I want to try it though.
Right. I think there is that huge, and for me, in my mind, there's still a negative connotation. Like I nervous talking about it. Oh, now it's out in the public.
Same,
Mark Schenauer
yeah.
smokes weed.
Yeah.
So there is that negative connotation in my head. Like when I broke the news to my mom, it was like, coming, telling her I was a heroin addict.
Right.
Like that's what I felt. So I do see that. I don't like doing it in public.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like smoking and then going out and seeing people, and it's like I feel the whole time I'm paranoid. They know I'm high. They know I'm high. They know I'm high. But with the gym, I literally put my headphones in and I am locked in for whatever reason. It's an enjoyable experience for me.
And let's be honest, a lot of people at the gym are intoxicated on one thing or another, whether it's pre-workout.
Yeah, very true.
It's those high levels of caffeine and B12. Their consciousness is definitely altered somewhat. So
Have you ever gone to the grocery store high? That is the trippiest thing I think I've ever done.
I mean,
going
I don't
to Ralph's.
really, I don't really smoke weed because we've talked about this before.
have you driven an ice cream truck high?
No, hopefully you haven't
Me
either.
No, no one should do that.
Yeah, like that. Like I don't like to do a lot of things
Mm-hmm.
under the influence. Like usually weed has been, and I just learned that it's probably not the best idea, but it's been a sleep aid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do it right before bed.
I
and
mean, that's
and
not
I-
that's a
and
great
I
idea.
watch
Yeah, it can
something
be.
funny and then pass out. So I try not to do it during the day. So I think that's why it gets this negative connotation, because if it is legal, I can smoke before work
Yeah.
if I really wanted to. Now, again, some jobs
Could drink before work. That's legal.
Oh,
Some do.
So it's very
Yeah.
true. So, but I could never.
Right.
I would be freaking out the whole time. So for me, it's more of a night thing. Every once in a while before
Yeah.
the gym, I just
Yeah.
it just feels
For
good.
me, like, I agree with you. I think it definitely should be during a time when you're not trying to be productive, and if you want to be part of society and functioning and be on your A game and productive, then you should wait till after. It should be a reward. In terms of being in different settings with it, because sometimes, like, I don't like smoking before I'm going out to like a packed place, because I know I'm not as connected to what's going on. I'm usually more of like taking one step back.
Right.
And
Have you ever
if
smoked and done salsa dancing, Steve?
Yeah.
You were high when you did that?
Yeah, I smoked.
Did
and
you
when-
dance better?
No. He's like, I can't get this down. I'm done. And I was
Well,
like,
because
what?
it's supposed to be a beginner class, but it was actually.
I thought it was a
intermediate.
beginner class, but it was intermediate.
I was
So you guys were pros.
Oh.
I was really struggling. I don't know how much that had to do with the fact that I was high, but it probably didn't help because I couldn't pay attention.
Right.
It's like, okay, we're going to a quick 6-step, and I'm like staring at the wall.
Right.
What are we doing? Like,
But most of the
that's what kept on happening. It's like,
Damn it!
What are we
I
doing?
wish I
And I was
followed
dancing with
you
these girls. Like,
you
do
should
you know?
came.
yeah, I should have followed you.
The girls were like, "Do you know these basic moves?" I was like, no.
No.
I brought tortilla chips. I didn't know what this was.
I thought we were trying different types of salsa.
Yeah, I said, "Yeah, verde," and they didn't know what I meant.
They were pretty friendly about it. There was like most girls, I'd be like, hey, I don't know what we're doing. I thought this was beginner class. Like, oh, it's fine. Like, just do this. There was one or two girls that were like, you're doing it wrong. I was like, I'm so sorry. Like, they're like, it's in, out, spin, reverse. And I was like, what? And then I was like, I'm just going to make this up,
But
you know?
in terms of like smoking weed in those types of settings, it's beforehand, it's always like a roll of the dice, but I view it as a personal challenge, because if I'm feeling anxiety or fear, which I felt like when I first showed up there, I wasn't like that anxious because I didn't expect to be a good salsa dancing. So
Right.
I didn't really feel embarrassed,
Yeah.
but I view it as like, if I am getting upset or angry, why? It's because I'm viewing myself in some negative way. And I feel like the weed can help you look inside in a sense. So it's always can be a journey into the your inside of your consciousness
Yeah.
of how you're feeling about things. So I
You
feel like
don't
it
want
can-
to look inside when you're trying to learn salsa dancing. No,
No.
you don't. You
No,
want to
you
be
don't.
outward.
No, you don't. But maybe like going to a grocery store, like that's interesting to me because I like observing like human behavior.
Yeah,
It's like
for
if I'm
sure.
getting a little bit anxious, why am I now nervous or why am I feeling these ways? When beforehand, if you're pounding a coffee, then you're going and you're more just like, okay, I'm gonna get the Lucky Charms. Or I'm gonna go here. It kind of lets you take a step back, and that's interesting to me. I think that is a healthier way to look at the experience of smoking weed.
My grocery store experience, again, because I eat the same things over and over again. I'm literally in and out.
Yeah,
I've
me
went
too.
once or twice, like at night, like, oh shoot, I forgot to get milk. Let me go run to the grocery store. It turns into an hour ordeal because then I'm like, did I get anything? Did I get it? Okay, what do I need for this? Like, so I try not to go because then I'm up and down the aisles.
Right.
I'm in the bread aisle, dissecting who's gotten rich flour, who doesn't. So I try not to. Otherwise, I'll be in there for too long.
Cool.
Okay, I
Yes.
have one question before we start to wrap up, because we've got to know you pretty well now, and you're cost conscious and you're healthy. But the acting part, I want to touch upon that.
Mm-hmm.
How did you just like, okay, I have this life in New York, let's go become an actor? We know the Ohio move didn't happen, but acting.
For me, let's start by saying I had a wonderful childhood. I did not
Great.
struggle. I did not want for anything. But movies and TV for me was an escape from reality, I guess, for lack of a better word. I loved watching movies. I don't go out and party. I don't drink a lot. My Friday nights tonight would probably be very boring. Last night, so I'm off today from my 18 jobs that I work. And normally a normal person of my age would be like, we're hitting the town. We're pre-gaming with pre-workout and alcohol. And we're going to go to
Shabbat,
Poppy, whatever it is. But for me, I was looking forward to coming home, making food, and watching Red Notice, the new Netflix movie with the Rock, and it was like I was looking forward to staying in.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, that's always the way I've been. I was in high school, star athlete. It's like everyone house parties. I would go home and watch movies with my parents. Like I'm a homebody, a weird kid. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. So movies was like my way of being in this different world. You could be a villain, you could be a hero, a scientist, a garbage man. So for me, it was like just an escape. And then as I got older, I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I don't think any of us really do. We're all struggling with this factor, and it's time we normalize it. So finance job, I thought my life was put on a suit and tie, just like my dad, go to work, make a crap ton of money, and have a wonderful life. And I was like, I'm good at a lot of different things. Like, I don't know what I should be. Should I do this? Should I be marketing? Should I do advertising? So I was like, acting, you can do different things. You can be the villain one week,
Mm-hmm.
and then be an accountant the next week, and then be a garbage man the next week. So I was like, oh, okay, I like movies. I get to be different things. I can portray myself in a different way whenever I want. Let's give it a shot. So that's kind of what drove me to acting. Have I gotten to be a garbage man, a villain, or a banker? Not yet, but hopefully.
What would your dream role be? 2 dream roles. Let's go 2. Like 2 ideal roles you'd want to play.
Definitely an action hero.
Mm-hmm.
That's the movies I like. We talk about, like, me and my roommate when the new Fast and Furious was coming out. Is it believable? No. Is it far-fetched? Yes. But we say it all the time. It's a movie you have to turn your brain off. I like those kind of movies. You give me a bucket of popcorn and I'm just entertained for 2 hours. There are these thinkable movies like another buddy loves Wes Anderson.
Yeah.
And like the Royal Tenenbaums and Life Aquatica. And I watched one and it's a great movie, but it's like I have to think and I have to, it's actually about life. It's just following this guy's life and he has a normal life and it's just a story.
Mm-hmm.
For me, those movies, I do enjoy them,
Yeah.
but I want the action. I want the car chases. I want the things blown up. So if Michael Bay ever hears this, please call me. I'll be the guy who gets shot in the first scene. I would just want Michael Bay.
Yeah,
so
so-
anything he does is kind
Yeah,
of
so if he's listening,
Mm-hmm.
where can he find you?
609-20. No, I'm just kidding. So that's kind of like action.
Yeah.
And then I think I would love to do like a play something that's not be a villain. You guys don't know me too well, but I think I'm overly nice. I'm like, most people will say, oh, he's a nice guy. He's the nice one. He'll do whatever you need him to do. So it'd be nice to be a jerk for
Do
once.
you feel like that's in you? Like darkness?
That's a question I'd have to search for. I think it would be fun to try and play around with it and be the villain, and lack of a better word, to have no compassion or to be the sociopath who runs around with an AK-47.
Have you thought about doing also stunt work as well?
I would love to. I think that's the other aspect of acting of why I thought it'd be cool is these guys get to do. Tom Cruise gets to hang out of a plane.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Insurance company hates him, but
Yeah,
yeah.
but he can't get on the rides at Six Flags. It's a little-
Oh, no.
So it's like I know Entourage is fake, but he was preparing for Aquaman, so they trained him how to scuba dive.
Yeah.
Now, granted, you got to ride a horse only for an hour, but you get to do these amazing things that normal people, non-actors don't necessarily would get to experience. So I think that's kind of cool. I would love to learn how to fight with a sword. Are you kidding me?
Have you done stunt training classes here?
I haven't.
There's a few. I haven't done them either, but there's I have a buddy that started one, and they look really cool. Like you do like combat training with swords, but you also do like guns. So how to like dismantle a gun but make it look cool. Because I guess in real life too, you wouldn't be like, right. You'd be like, But there's a way to do it so it looks like an action movie. Right. Which, especially if that's what you want to get into, it's a great skill to learn.
Yeah. And I know it's all not fun and games with the stunt, because I do know a stunt guy used to come in the Rumble, really awesome guy.
It's hard on your body.
It's hard.
Really hard
he
on your
says
body.
It's a job. It's
Didn't the stunt guy from Sons of Anarchy just pass away, and he had like a illustrious career for over like 50, 60 years.
Yeah.
And his wife was like, he loved doing this, but this job just beat the shit out of
It's
him.
literally, it's a hard, I mean, you're literally putting your body, like you're falling, you're getting hit, and you get injured a lot.
There's one woman who is the best at getting hit by a car. Like that's her stunt. and she's made millions of dollars.
Wow.
Being that
money.
woman in these movies.
Yeah.
She's perfected it in the form where she doesn't get hurt. Obviously she might get little bumps and bruises.
Yeah.
But that's her. She is and she's made a living off of it.
It's a hard thing. I did do a prison scene once for the show, and it was very simple, like the fight coronation where we're like punching each other, and I literally go, and on the first take I punch the guy right in the balls by mistake.
It's a dance almost.
Yeah.
It's almost like learning the salsa how to fight.
This woman that gets hit by a car
Yeah.
could actually make a killing off screen too if she just like
Honestly.
staged accidents and
Very
collected
true.
on it.
I can't,
Do you ever see
Walks
those?
across the
I can't
405
let
at
that
night.
go. I can't let that go. I'm just thinking about it. She just walks around.
But in
getting
those-
hits by
But that's
car.
a job. You
And
gotta
that's her
feel like,
job.
yeah, literally.
But it's just like when she mingles a party. She's
Her Tinder
like,
profile.
I get hit by
What do
cars.
you do?
And
Excuse
that's
me?
I don't want to demean her, belittle
No.
her, but she obviously does more stuff. But that's
course.
what she's amazing at. So
But
Dude,
you
I
gotta
love her
realize
already.
how
That's
That's what her
many.
LinkedIn says.
You gotta
Yeah.
realize how much, like, especially big budget movies say there's so much
yeah.
car action scenes, and like each of those things, you can't have. Most of the main actors, A, don't want to do their stunts, and B, can't because it's just too risky.
Yeah, dude,
Like, you
I don't
have
want to be
Tom
hit by a
Cruise-
car.
we're also going to see a lot of things change with this whole Alec Baldwin.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Went down. So
He
Yeah.
was supposed to be on this set, and after that, we're like, we don't want him.
Yeah, I think I'm filling in for him. I think
Yeah.
he was,
Yeah.
Yeah, he was
Yeah,
supposed to be
you
here.
were.
Yeah, the gun safety thing. That's I mean, we'll say that for another podcast. But that's a whole problem.
It's happened
Yeah.
a few times
It
over
has
the
hap-
years.
What's his name's son died? Bruce Lee's son.
Lee's son.
Died from that. Bruce Lee's son died
I didn't know that.
from a gunshot on set. Yep. He was doing The Crow.
Wow.
Brandon Lee, the
That
movie The
is
Crow. He
horrible.
died while they're filming
On
the scene.
set.
While they're filming.
I mean, it's one thing to be like shot on the street, but like
Yeah.
if you get shot on the set and then you die.
Yeah, their accidents shouldn't be happening. And there was about to be a massive strike across America for the union in film.
Mhm.
And it got diverted. They reached an agreement. But one of the problems and what they were campaigning about was that they're working these insane hours. They're working sometimes 16, 18 hours. They go home, they get maybe 5 hours of sleep, they're back on set. And they're doing this for months.
Yeah.
And that has a toll on people's emotion level, on their body, and their decision making. That's going to affect everything on set. And for why? Why? To pump a movie out faster than the next movie. But that
It's
never
just
ends.
Putting money over safety.
You know, that never ends. And like, you know, they don't need to be doing that. We need to be having safety on set. People should be, you know, hair, makeup, stunts, designers, all of them. They should be working hours so they can have a family and have a life outside it. They shouldn't be working insane hours all the time.
Right.
Once in a while, sure. Maybe you got to do an 18-hour scene, you know, for whatever, but that should not be the norm. And that's where these accidents happen.
Did the Alec Baldwin incident, did the bullets like ricochet, or was it? I know because Bruce Lee's son, correct me if I'm wrong, but he died in the scene. There's supposed to be a blank, but Alec Baldwin was, it's not funny, but you hear about the crew is dying. So why was the gun being
I'm
pointed
not
at
sure.
the crew?
I'm not sure the details on it.
Yeah.
I think he was practicing for the scene. The details are a little shaky because I've heard the DP being accused. I've heard I keep reading different things. I don't know yet. I think they're still doing an investigation to figure out. I think from what I understand, I think he was practicing the scene. But the real question is, why was there a real bullet and a prop gun?
Exactly.
That's that doesn't make any
That's a really
sense
good
at
question,
all.
actually.
Yeah.
You know, that doesn't make sense.
Okay, guys. I think we need to wrap up.
Yeah.
But it was so fun to have you here, Mark.
Thank you.
Dude,
Thanks
you're
for having
welcome
me.
back.
Do you want to share your socials?
And your
social
bank
media
account?
I think we already talked about it. I only have one.
Your
I only got
Instagram,
one.
or if people want to find you, or you also do personal training as well.
Yeah. So at Rumble, I'm still teaching when I can. Trying to figure out the new schedule at Soho House, but I'll be there hopefully once or twice a week. I do have an Instagram. I'm getting better at it. It's Mark, my first name Mark, and then CS6. Double tap. If you follow me, 9 times out of 10 I'll follow back. I'm the guy who just literally double taps every photo.
Great.
Everybody does Instagram and TikTok. They want to get likes, so I figured I'll help. Double tap. Like you can literally post a picture of me with like, you know, a red circle, like a Ghostbuster line through it that you hate me, and I'll probably double tap it.
Great artwork.
Yeah, just
nice
double
editing.
tap. Double tap. I'm just over it. Yeah, that can be a whole nother podcast, talking about Instagram and social media in this world.
Oh, yeah, definitely. You're very welcome to come back.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. That's all for us. Have a good one. See you next time.
See you later, guys.
Thank you, guys.
for
Appreciate
watching.
it.
My then husband brought a computer home in 1995 and parked it in the living room. And I sat down at the computer and I felt like an entity had come to live with us and I better befriend it.
Like this guy knocked me unconscious almost like 6 times. I thought he broke both my wrists. Almost went to get X-rays. Like this was like a proper fighter.
Now, when you have a communist kung fu match, do you have to share the victory, or it's?
No, everyone dies at the end.